This is the motivation.
All right, here we go. Count it down in 3, 2. Hey, welcome to this week's episode of Jiu-Jitsu's Coast to Coast, a podcast that talks about what's important on and off the mat. We are doing our first 40s with Friends of 2023. I got Fonzo. We got Cousin Ann here. How you boys doing tonight?
Doing great, man. Fucking chilling. It's Sunday night, chilling with some drinks, about to get into some awesome topics. I love doing 40s with Friends. And yeah, excited for this time, bro. So it's been a while since we did it. Ant, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. Doing good. Super busy, but I'm glad to just chill this weekend and just, talk with you guys, see how things are going. Been a while since I've been on, so I'm looking forward to hearing about all your guys' little new nuances and stuff. And then I heard we might be even talking about some UFC highlights and stuff. Or some, I should say, Dana White highlights. So looking forward to all that. Always looking forward to talking to you guys. So enjoying it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, heck, we got some updates from last week, as well as some new topics. As you guys know, if you're a first-time listener or this is your first time catching a 40s with Friends, 40s with Friends is something we try to do once a month where we just share crazy stories. A lot of times after jiu-jitsu, you sit down on the mat and you're unwinding, you're cooling down, putting your stuff in your bag, fucking around with your friends, talking smack. But sometimes every once in a while, the conversations skew a little direction and they almost tend to go every single crazy conversation. Yes or no? Yes. Some of the crazy conversations you end up having are at jiu-jitsu, after jiu-jitsu. And these are stories that would be not out of the unordinary to appear on the mats at Jiu-Jitsu Talk. So me and Fonzo got a couple things to share about. But Fonzo, we got some updates. You ready to talk about these updates, dog?
Yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off.
Actually, I don't even think the first story is an update. It's more something that kind of just dropped a couple, maybe within the last day. And that's our boy Dana White in the news again. Francis Ngannou will be released by the UFC after rejecting contract offer. And this is not making Dana happy at all. So I got a link here to Dana's post. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Offered Francis a deal that would have made him the highest paid heavyweight in the history of the company. More than Lesnar, more than anybody. And he turned the deal down. I think Francis is in a place right now where he doesn't want to take a lot of risk. Feels like he's in a good position where he could fight lesser opponents and make more money. So we're gonna let him do that. We're gonna release him from his contract. We're gonna give up our right to match, and he can go wherever he wants and do whatever he wants. We offered Francis a deal that would have made.
So
damn,
Dana's salty as hell, man.
Salty, Cousin Ant.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, just from just that, hearing that, I mean, I don't think he's salty. I think if anything, I think he's kind of saying like, all right, you could do this, but you don't want to. So, much luck wherever you go. I think that's how anybody he would treat anyone. I mean, don't you think?
I don't know, man. I mean, looking at some of the shit that, because here's the deal, like the money that was offered to Ngannou, I mean, it wasn't a small amount, right? Like it was like he's saying that it's probably the highest payday. If it's correct, it's no money to sneeze at. It's a good amount of money. But I've also been like hearing some of the stuff that Ngannou has been saying about like his demands or whatever to keep a contract or continue fighting for the UFC. And it really has nothing to do with money. Because he said, look, the money is tempting. He goes, but the problem is, I guess his biggest problem is that he's like, look, you're treating me like a what is that, like a contract
killer?
When you just no, like when you're independent contractor, right? Like you don't have health insurance, you don't get any of the benefits. If something happens to you, it comes out of your own pocket. You know what I mean? All that shit. As an independent contractor, though, he's like, I should be able to sign whatever fights I want, not just exclusive with the UFC. So it's kind of like you're in this middle ground, like where you're neither like an employee of the UFC nor a true independent contractor. So he's like, look, that's kind of bullshit. Like you can't have your cake and eat it too. You gotta help me out here. And I think that's what he wanted the most. That's why he didn't take the contract. It's not really about the money. It's like, look, you got to start treating not just me, but all of us collectively, like all the other fighters, either be independent contractors or put us on the payroll. Let us be employed.
You know, I get that. Okay, I could get that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that part of it, you know, and I can get that. But I mean, as a contractor, I mean, I was government contractor, so kind of something similar in the sense of, all right, I'm not actually with this agency, but I do everything that this agency wants me to do. I come to work, I follow their rules, I have to follow their guidelines, I got to follow my contract's guidelines, and, you know, there's certain things that they do give me, certain things they don't give me, certain benefits that I don't get, you know, yada, yada, yada. But, you know, at the same time, I knew that going into it, you know, and he knew all this going into signing that original contract, unless he just didn't read it. Now, if he wants to fall on his own sword, I don't know if that's the saying, but if he wants to fall on his own sword to kind of do better for it, well, then I commend him for that, you know? Like, he's sacrificing himself and the money that he could be making to try and better everyone else. But at the same time, the only reason he's not shoveling dirt anymore is because of the UFC. So you kind of have to give and take with it. I mean, it's a contract, you should negotiate and everything, but if you're just going to straight out say no, that's really on him. Maybe you know what all goes into, or how much does it cost? Is it cost effective to have people on, like having, let's say, medical coverage, having all the fighters on medical coverage? Well, they follow what guidelines if they're all in different states, in different countries and everything like that? How can you give one fighter this kind of medical coverage, but yet they're in, let's say, freaking Nigeria, and there's not even that coverage out there? So how can you make it fair amongst everyone? So, is that the problem, or,
those are questions. Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. How do you cover across all those different regions? It's definitely a legitimate concern and a question to ask, but I just, it doesn't seem like they're even willing to try or explore those options. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, I mean, and here's the deal. Like Ngannou was saying, fine, don't give me medical, but at the same time, then treat me like a true, independent contractor and let me sign my own fights outside of the UFC. Like, don't make me be exclusive. Let me fight for WEC.
But would you do that? I mean, and let's say you owned a fight company. Let's say you owned UFC, and you knew that you had this talented guy.
Of course not. Right? Of course not.
So,
you're absolutely right.
I can't get mad at Dana for being like, oh, well, I'd like to give you all this, a shitload amount of money, and, do this, do that, whatever. But at the same time, now I'm putting money in other people's pockets to own other companies. And I don't know about that.
First of all, it's not even Dana's money. All right.
Okay. All right.
So he has no say in, he should be. Why isn't he trying to get his fighters the most? I don't even know. All right.
Okay.
Why can Conor go fight in the UFC and he can fight in boxing? And Ngannou asked to fight in boxing and in fight in the UFC, but that never got brought up.
Okay.
Right.
So
I know Dana said, hey, I'm going to pay you the most money that anybody in the UFC's ever made per fight. So let's look up what that is. Let's look what that is. All right. So actually, that's not the right one. Here we go. Top 5 highest paid athletes in UFC history for one fight. All right.
For one fight.
This is on sportskita.com. 5 highest payouts in UFC history. Number 5, GSP versus Michael Bisping. Remember when GSP got lured out of retirement? Got paid $2.5 million.
Okay.
That was 2017. Number 4, Brock Lesnar, $2.5 million, 2011 versus that was for UFC 200 against Mark Hunt. UFC 3, Conor McGregor versus Khabib when he lost. He got paid $3 million for that fight. Number 2, second highest paid payout in UFC history, Ronda Rousey versus Amanda Nunes at UFC 207, and that was for, I believe, $3 million as well. Yeah, $3 million. And then the highest paid for one fight in the UFC, again, not surprising, Conor McGregor. He's worth it, right? $5 million for one fight. Is that
is that for both fighters, or is that just for the
No, that's just for him.
Connor.
That's just for Conor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dustin got one.
So that kind of is my question there. When I'm looking at this, Conor McGregor, he got that money, but at the same time, he got that money for that fight because he was fighting that other fighter. And isn't that kind of what draws us to watch McGregor? Because he's going to, like Khabib. Everybody wanted to watch Khabib whoop his ass, you know? So, like, you're going to make a lot more money. You're going to, more people. So, but it's not just McGregor. It's also because Khabib is going to whoop that ass. So, you know, like, and then if Dana White doesn't own the fighters, who's the one that regulates the money? Like, how does that work?
The Endeavor, that's the company. Yeah, they're the ones that sign the checks, right?
And so Endeavor is not the brothers anymore?
No, the Fertittas exited.
Oh, they left. Oh,
yeah, they sold the company, dude. They sold the company.
Oh,
yeah, that happened. That happened a couple years ago. So 3 years ago, something like that.
So have they noticed, like, did one company, because whoever had it before the brothers, whoever had the UFC before them, have they noticed that the money has gone up or down depending on who owns it? Or,
well, I mean, I don't know. No, I mean, look, I think there's tons of money in it, dude. Especially now, like, there's more sponsorship, there's more, you know what I mean. There's more publicity around it. A lot more money you see now than has ever been in the history of the. So I don't think it's a problem with like cash inflow that the fighters aren't making that much money. I don't think it has anything to do with that.
It's about
but who is the one that doesn't want to give it? Is it Dana or is it the guys that own it? Endeavor.
Probably both, because
he's not. He can't sign off. Yeah, there's no way Dana can sign off on that because he's not the owner of the UFC. But he can't speak for them. Obviously, if he's saying something that the company doesn't agree with, they wouldn't let him continue to say that. But this is so as far as I know, he's saying what the company's saying. And so he's like, hey, this is what you're worth. And Ngannou's like, no, that's not. I'm worth more than that. And I'm with Ngannou. Fuck that. Dana White's like, hey, I'm going to pay you the most money you've ever made. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But at the same time, if he were to go anywhere else, he would make way more money. He would make quadruple that. 4 times. You don't think so? Seriously, if he did one boxing match, right? Even if he's the shittiest boxer of all time, he can get one pro boxing fight. If Conor can get one fight against Floyd, Ngannou can get one fight against Fury or against Deontay Wilder. They're both chirping at it. They both want it.
Well, here's the deal.
If he were to get that fight, he would make more money for that one fight than he would make in his entire UFC career, even if he were to sign this new great deal that Dana White's throwing at him that he's rejecting.
So you're saying that the money that he would make from the one boxing fight, let's say he did a boxing fight, the money that he would make from that would be more than if he stayed with the UFC for, let's say, another 10 years, whatever, and did multiple fights. He would make more in that one. So if he did do that, so it is cost effective for him to get out, go to the boxing, and then make more money. Okay, I got you.
Well, here's the deal, man. Like,
how about this? Would you leave your, like, whatever the job that you're applying for right now?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Would you, if there was another company that was like, hey, we're going to pay you 5 times that and we're going to make you the like whatever, would you take that job? I'm pretty sure you would take it. And then if your boss is like, hey, what are you doing? I'm going to pay you I'm going to make you the most highest paid employee in our company, dog. Why are you leaving me? And then he's like, you're scared of hard work. You don't want to do the work that our company demands of you. So, hey, I understand. All right. It's okay. Go. You don't want to work hard. You want to make a lot of money. You want to have an easy life. No shit, Dana. Why don't you fucking quit and go start your slap shit without all your fucking homies' money by yourself? You're taking the easy road too, right? Why don't you start your own shit on YouTube from the ground up until you get your own station? I don't know, but
But
you know what I'm saying?
I totally agree with you. I get you. I totally agree with you. But at the same time, as a businessman, you know, I'm devil's advocate here. That's all. That's what I do. And, you know, so, I mean, at the same time, Dana's like, okay, yeah, I'm listening on this, but UFC has already created such a name that everyone wants to go. So until UFC doesn't have that, I guess, that fame of being the UFC champion or whatever, I mean, he kind of can do that. He kind of can play that card a little bit, you know?
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Because he can do that, though, doesn't mean it's right and doesn't mean that it's good for the sport. Because what's going to end up happening is people are going to end up leaving, and we're not going to get the best fights. We're already not getting the best fights because he's giving the best fights to his homie. Like when Conor got paid $5 million, he wasn't even in the top 5. He shouldn't have been in the top 5 because he hadn't fought in who knows. I can't even remember how long, right?
Yeah.
But he still got paid the most. Why? Because he sells tickets, because whatever. But this is a fight game. This isn't TMZ shit. This isn't who can talk the most shit on Instagram. This is fights.
Yeah. But I think your motivation is different than, I mean, obviously it's different, but you know, you're coming at it from the love of the sport. You know, you're coming at it from the love of the sport, and I hate to say it, but I think Dana White, he may have a love for the sport, but him and whoever's in charge of it, they might have their love is for
that
the money.
motherfucker's got a love of money. There's no
but here's the deal though. Here's the deal though. The same spirit that you're talking about, like, hey, I'm coming at it from a business perspective. That's what's gonna be his downfall. Though. You know what I mean? Because at some point, people are gonna be like, nah, this is bullshit, and then they're gonna band together and then you know, find it a different way. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, right now, where and I think what's going to happen is that Ngannou's going to sign with the PFL. He's been courted by them already.
Last week by bare knuckle.
Yeah, last week sometime, like he posted a social media post with like his family, and his mom's is wearing a PFL shirt.
Oh shit! Oh
yeah, dude. Yeah. So, you know, like, you know, and this is before this whole announcement happened. So, you know, like, shit is getting real. And like Frank is saying, man, like, if he takes a deal and they're not exclusive, he can sign the fights he wants, man. And if he goes to take that fight with Tyson Fury, hey, I'll watch the shit out of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, isn't that the thing with every, like, most companies and stuff like that? They get too good for, you know, big for their britches, you would say. You know, is that most companies? You know, it's eventually. You're right. I know. I agree with 100% with you. Like, eventually,
so, and that's what, and that's all I'm saying. Yeah, and that's all I'm saying. Look,
but right now,
Dana's got, but here's the deal. But Dana's got to see the writing on the wall, and he's got to fucking his board to see things a little differently, and maybe make some of these concessions. You know what I mean?
You in the job, you guys, both you guys, in the jobs that you guys do, how many people actually see the writing on the wall?
Not very many. Not very many.
So Dana White's gonna get fucked up too. So same shit. You know.
Yeah.
Not listening to fucking Frank's podcast and saying, hey, you know what? Maybe I should fucking.
He should be listening. He should be listening. If you're out there,
your life better so much better, Dana. Whatever.
Yeah.
So now that Francis is exited, the UFC is moving forward, and this got posted up outside T-Mobile Arena. So UFC, I don't even know what is this? UFC 285, March 4th, main event. Alfonso, may all your dreams come true in 2023, starting with this one. John Jones, Cyril Gane for the heavyweight championship. Bro, I saw a post from who's the redheaded guy from UFC, the announcer?
McDonald.
Paul Felder said something along the lines of like, hey, you know, his last few years at light heavyweight, speaking of John Jones, his last few years at light heavyweight, he was kind of effing around. He was just, you know, lollygagging around because he had already cleared out the division. He was kind of bored. But now he's at heavyweight, and he's not just jumping up 15 pounds. He's jumping up like 40 pounds, dude.
Yeah.
From 205 to what Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane probably walks like at 260, 250. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big jump in weight, and he can't be messed around. And he for sure wants to make a statement. And he's been training with Henry Cejudo, dude. And Henry Cejudo is a douchebag on the internet, but he knows how to fight, dude. And he is such a good coach. I can't wait to see what John looks like. What do you guys think?
Man, I'm right there with you. It just, for me, like, John has always been like a fighter that I personally love watching. Even though he's a fucking asshole outside of the ring, and like he's got, I mean, you know, But whatever. His personal life is separate from who he is in the ring, right? Who he is in the ring is just phenomenal. You can't just not be in awe by what this motherfucker does inside the ring. And I'm really excited that he's moving up. I was getting kind of bored in like just watching his last few fights at light heavyweight. You know what I mean? Like I tuned in, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, this is by the third round, you're like, what the fuck are we? What am I watching? What am I doing here? Right? Come on, yeah. But now that he's moved up to weight class, yeah, hey, this is a whole new. Yeah, this is like this to me feels like what it was like when move up the ladder before he even became champion. You know what I mean? I have the same feeling about that.
I like
so
it.
I'm super excited for this fight.
Excited.
Yeah.
Because what you think about this?
How old is John Jones now?
He's got to be like mid-30s, mid to late 30s.
Mid-30s?
Like,
I mean, 35.
Yeah.
So you really think that he still has it being out of the ring for so long and, doing what he's saying? You think he still has it?
I think so, man.
Doubt, dog.
Yeah.
No
the way I look at it, he's only been in a couple wars in his entire career. He hasn't seen like too much damage, in his career.
He's probably one of the smartest fighters in the cage.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'd rather see
adjustments like no other, man. I'm excited.
I would rather see him fight. What is it? Vera? Is it Vera?
Oh yeah,
the one who just beat Adesanya. I'd rather see him fight those two, going at it. But yeah, there you go. That I'd like to see them fight, just because they both are like a stand-up kickboxer type fighter. But I mean, putting on all that weight, that's gotta play. I mean, don't Alfonso, you do a lot of kickboxing. I mean, putting on that amount of weight to get up into, to be able to do something, isn't that gonna slow him down or make him not?
I mean, he'll definitely be slower. Like it's normal, you know what I mean? Like he won't be as quick, but I don't think John ever really relied on his speed too much. You know what I mean? Like what John relied a lot on his stand-up game was more of like controlling the ring, staying the distance, getting into the clinch, doing those sneaky elbows, oblique kicks. He wasn't doing a lot of big movements, or a lot of fast movements either. So I think right. I think his style of fighting lends itself pretty well to the heavyweight division.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think what I think is this fight that's coming up. I think that's going to be a huge test. I mean, it's going to say a lot about.
You're absolutely right.
Where he's going. Yeah, for sure. So,
especially
I'm excited to see John Jones. I'm always excited to see John Jones fight because you were saying before. Yeah, his fights are boring, but but I mean, at the same time, he wasn't really taking his training seriously. He was not. I mean, sometimes what they say, and then he would still go in and he would still win. So you're going against a guy who's been training his butt off, and then this guy is like, whatever. I'm gonna smoke a doobie and fucking drink or whatever. And he goes in there, guys.
I'm gonna do some cocaine real quick,
right? and he still wins. So it's like, all right, like you guys need to come up to par. So here in the heavyweight. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. I'm really interested to see what happens.
There's a lot less room for fucking around, and against a guy like Cyril Gahn, dude, like, I mean, you can't fuck around. Like,
no,
he'll fucking murk you. You know what I mean?
Damn, yeah.
So you know what, and it's bittersweet because I would have loved to have seen him against Ngannou, obviously, but I think this is a better matchup though. What do you think, Frank?
I think so too, man. I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a better fight. I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. Fonzo, you ready to get into the 40s with friends, bro?
All right, let's get it.
All right, let's go, man. What's your topic, Fonzo?
My topic is the future of fucking energy, fool. Like, this thing blew my fucking mind when I started hearing the headlines about it. I'm like, seriously, I couldn't believe that this was really for real. Like, this is something that I'm witnessing in my lifetime.
What did you hear?
All right. So what I heard was a research lab here in California was finally able to achieve a fusion reaction in a confined space, a controlled confined space. And you're like, okay, what the fuck does that mean? Or why does it matter? Or what the fuck is even fusion, right? So fusion, as you can see by this Google search that you graciously put up, Frank, thank you, is the power that is generated by fusing two small atoms together, right? Two tiny atoms. So if you look at the periodic table, there's a shitload of fucking different and atoms or whatever, right? So two of the smallest ones are helium and hydrogen. The smallest one is hydrogen. So basically, the way fusion works is you take two small atoms of helium or hydrogen, and then you shoot them at each other, and you fucking make them fuse. So you make them kind of just stick together. It is. So what ends up happening when these two fucking atoms fuse together is it release a shitload of fucking energy, like a ton of energy, which is awesome because, well, fucking everything that we do requires fucking electricity and energy, right? So the coolest thing about fusion is that does not produce any of the harmful radiation that other forms of nuclear power do, like fission. So, like, let me just talk about fission for a second. Fission is what we usually use now, that system, in our current like nuclear reactors. So if there's a nuclear reactor in the world, it's doing fission. And fission is the opposite of fusion. Basically, instead of fusing two elements together or two atoms together, you're tearing an atom apart. So you're shooting all kinds of fucking lasers at it and tearing it apart. And it produces a shitload of energy too. Like, thank you for bringing that up, Frank. So it produces a shitload of energy too. The problem with fission is when you tear up an element like that, you end up getting a lot of fucking radiation, like high energy radiation, gamma rays and shit like that, which can cause you to have radiation poisoning and all kinds of different, like,
that's how the whole
what happened. Yeah, exactly. And then that's what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? You get fucking nuclear bombs and shit. By the way, fusion, the one that I was talking about earlier, had like that technology has been invented for a long ass time. Like it's been around for a long time. The problem is that we weren't able to achieve a good way to control it until now. So basically, what ended up happening when we tried to do fusion was it fucking blew up all the time. That's what a hydrogen bomb is. So a hydrogen bomb is a huge fucking bomb that releases a ton of energy, but there's no harmful radiation after it. So what we're trying to do right now is, now that we know that it's possible to control it and not like have shit blow, now it's up to engineers to minimize it or to scale it down,
harness it
and harness it, right? So now that we know it's possible, because before we knew it was possible just theoretically, though, like math and shit. But but now we know it's for real. Like, and now all we have to do now is try to scale it in a way that we can now use it to power whatever it is we need to power.
Hoverboards.
Which is fucking right. Which is fucking awesome, because this, and I'll tell you right now, you guys are going to be the first to hear it right here on this podcast. In our lifetime, if we get to live to 80 years old, dude, like all three of us, this is what's going to be powering our cities. This is it.
Is it going to drop my true-up bill, though?
You won't need a true-up bill after this, fool.
But all right, two questions for you. Do you think that it's just a coincidence that this was finally done, like this atom thing was finally done because we got
UFO footage?
No, not that one.
The government? Oh.
No, that could contribute. I didn't think about that one, but we can add that one.
3 questions for you.
Do you think it's a coincidence that they were finally able to do this after they, everyone's been pushing for electric vehicles and electric everything, and everybody's been arguing about how we don't have the infrastructure to support all this electric? Do you think it's a coincidence?
Fuck, this fucking has Gavin Newsom's name on it.
Look, I don't know. Maybe, but who the fuck cares? Is my answer to that. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? What matters is that we're able to achieve it now.
Now, that leads me to my second question, and I'm glad you said that. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares is the people that are making all the money right now. The infrastructure that's going on right now is going to lose a lot of money. So, and there are a lot of those people that make a lot of money off this are in charge of a lot of things. Do you think that they are going to allow something else that they have no control over now take over?
Well, this is exactly what I was talking to Frank before you showed up. Check it out, dog. So this is where you and I and Frank, all three of us, and everybody's podcast need to fucking see what's happening here and fucking invest, fool. Like, this is where we got to look at who are the startups. I'm serious. Who are the startups, right? Who are the people that are leading these technologies? Give them $50, give them $100, give them whatever you can here and there, right? Buy some stock, right? Give them some loans, whatever. Hey, this could be the next Tesla. No, not even, fool. We were talking about like way beyond. Like this is getting like Frank put. What did you say earlier, fool? This is like what?
No, because first we said this is like getting in on PG&E, like before it was started. Like, dog. Okay. No, dog. This is like getting in on water before everything. This is different, dude. This isn't just energy. This is gonna be like fucking game changer, man.
Yeah, like you have no idea how huge this is. This isn't like, hey, we discovered like a new brand of coal that's gonna way more. No, this is total game changer. This is absolutely clean, absolutely renewable, absolutely just fucking an enormous amount of power. You have no idea how much power generated by just a small amount of fusion. Compared to nuclear fission, what technology we have for fission, this can create 5 times more energy than that. So, and fission is fucking like, it is amazing what fission can do right now, but this can do it 5 times better. And clean. So yeah, and no fucking none of the bad shit. So you know what I mean. So
I would just, go on.
I was gonna say, to your question is, who are these? Of course, there's people who are behind a lot of the money. They're throwing the money around. They don't want to see this happening. But guess what? That's why we need to be like aware of it. Hey, and if we become investors and we can fund the right fucking companies to take this to the next level, we might be living like it's in like 20 years, fool.
So do you feel that the government should control it or the people should control it?
No. Hell no.
No, the people. Yeah. Private companies.
Yeah.
Good shit, Fonzo.
I agree. Yeah, good shit, man.
Yeah. All right, dog. You ready to get to my story?
Yes.
This shit's gonna fucking change. You're talking about changing the world, Fonzo. This is changing the world right now. And I'm talking about, this is like a hot topic, you know. What is AI? AI is doing all kinds of shit right now. You guys even know, if I were to ask you right now, what is AI? Cuz what do you think AI is?
Artificial intelligence. Just a computer they can like figure out stuff before we can, like, you know, faster than we can.
Perfect. And that's pretty much what it is. But there's like levels to AI. So there's 4 types of AI: reactive AI, limited AI, theory of mind, and self-aware. Little more detail here. This little graphic that I'm sharing with you guys it's a little dated. It's from 2017. So some of it might be old. Like there's somewhere in here that says this type of technology hasn't been created yet, but I think it is. Pretty sure it's already out there. So type 1, purely reactive. This is like a robot that's only programmed to do one thing. Like this robot only knows how to play chess. This robot only knows how to look for green things. This robot only knows how to follow black lines. Like that's all it's programmed to do. It can't do anything else with any information. That's it, plain and simple. All right. So that's like the robot playing chess type, like I was saying.
Kind of like our old video games.
Maybe, you know what I mean? Like the when you played against the computer or something, you know? Yeah, exactly. Like you said, like a bot, right?
Yeah.
Like outside of those parameters, that AI can't make a sandwich. It doesn't even know what a sandwich is. Doesn't know about weather. It doesn't know anything other than what it was programmed to do. play that game, look for whatever specific thing. That's it.
Slap that hoe. No, I'm just kidding.
And that's type 3.
Okay.
Type 2.
That's Dana White. No, fuck.
Oh,
Theory of mind.
Leave my friend alone. Leave my friend alone. Type 2, limited memory. This is like a self-driving car type. Like it has already pre-programmed information in its brain database, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, you can feed it like up-to-date live info, and it can add that to what it already knows to make decisions like, oh, I know that to get from the San Francisco Giants baseball stadium to Chinatown, I take these streets, but right now there's construction and I'm going to go this way instead. So we can make like split-second decisions based off of updated information. But again, it's only limited to what it knows. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like Waze.
Yes, exactly. Kind of like that. So your car is not going to like trap you and try to kill you. It's only going to drive you around. That's all it knows how to do.
Yeah.
So anything outside of that, it's gone. Type 3, theory of mind. This is getting like towards the future. These are like what we saw, like what you see in a lot of movies. Like what was that Will Smith movie? Was it called AI? The Will Smith movie where he had the robot?
I think so.
No,
Yeah.
it's called it's called iRobot.
iRobot, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's like where robots were like, hey, I can help you and come here. Fonzo.
AI is the one with like Haley Joel Osment and the little kid. Fucking was that other?
I didn't
the other
see
guy?
that one because that one was super creepy.
It was good. It's good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. So
The ending was
these types
weird,
of
though.
These types of robots can interact with you. They understand your behavior. They understand your moods, your intentions. But that's basically it. Like they know what you're going through, and then that's it, right? Kind of like it says on the graphic, C-3PO from Star Wars, or what you would think is a robot, right? Type 4. This is like beyond. This is like what sci-fi movies have been talking about forever. Self-aware. This is like the Terminator. Like, oh, you're smoking cigarettes. You shouldn't smoke cigarettes because those are bad for you. So every time I see you smoking a cigarette, I'm going to take your cigarettes, or I'm going to stop you from smoking your cigarettes because that's bad for you. You know what I mean? Like it's to that level.
Ultron.
Yes. I'm going to do what's best for you because I know what's best for you.
I'm going to take this city, turn it into a fucking meteorite and kill you all because that's what's best for you.
So these type of robots are aware of themselves to say, I'm not just taking information in, I'm also processing it and making my own decisions because I know what's best. I know it's best. Okay, gotcha. Right.
Here's the thing that gets me about these with self-aware AIs, fool, or AI robots, is like, how come none of those end up being like some of those fucking like hella depressed, like all they want to do is play video games, fucking drink beer and shit and just fucking chill? Like, how come they don't get those robots? Like, if not every single motherfucker that's self-aware is gonna be like murderous and like have all these grand aspirations, fool. Like,
you're saying like not every robot wants to be the top 1%.
Yeah, they're not overachievers.
The bottom 1%.
Why can't I get like a robot that just likes to smoke weed and talk shit? Yeah, that fool just wants to be a comedian. You know what I mean? Like,
those are gonna be the AI that you buy at the swap meet, bro. That's the one you're gonna have.
Fool, there's gonna be an AI working at the swap meet.
You're right.
Well, so check this out. Check this out, guys. Check this out. So those are the 4 types of AI, and it's already been affecting people. Are already starting to have complaints about this. So, one big story that I came across as I started doing a little more research on AI was the creator of Rick and Morty. Love Rick and Morty. And so Justin Roiland created this new video game. And I don't know why he chose to do this. Maybe I don't know if it's to cut corners, to save money. I don't know if it was to experiment. But he started to use AI in order to help him create this game. So he used this specific type of AI, and it goes by the name of Mid-Journey. So I don't know what that is. That's just the name of the particular AI. And what that AI was able to do was it created a lot of the artwork for the video game. and it created voices for some of the characters in the game.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So the way that this type of AI creates art is you tell it like, hey, I like Banksy and I like Picasso and I like the way that they draw Family Guy. Can you create something that looks like a Mona Lisa having the Last Supper at an In-N-Out? And it'll fucking take what you said and start like looking for shit, and it'll take real pieces and it'll blend it together to create something that looks like what you're looking for. And that's what he did in this game, dude. So people are pissed because, hey, you're taking jobs away from voice actors. You're taking jobs away from the artists that could have created these graphics for you. Exactly. You know what I mean? This is just another form of the Mexicans coming up, taking our job. But what do you guys think, man? You for this or not?
Man, look, I'm for it for the pure, like, just wonder of it, I guess. I mean, for lack of a better term, you know what I mean? Just because, like, hey, man, like, it's interesting. It's hella interesting to see how these programs fucking react, and then they interpret fucking our world. You know what I mean? Because it's not their world, it's our world. Like, we're giving them all these inputs, and it's fucking interesting to see what they come out with. Just like that website that I fool. Like, that shit was dope.
What website?
I love fucking around with shit like that.
So tell about the website, Fonzo. So I got the website pulled up.
So
this is an example.
I was telling Frank, So I was telling Frank about this website where it's like this is an AI machine, and you type in whatever you want to see, what image you want. Like you can put whatever you want on it, and it'll create it for you in a different style, and you can pick the style down there. So let's see a demonstration.
So why is there a bunch of women on there?
Those are just different styles. Yeah.
Different style.
Don't pay attention to those details right now. Give us a phrase. What do you? All right, close your eyes, cuz.
Right.
Think of a background.
Okay.
You can be anywhere in the world. Where are you?
Montana, the forest.
All right, you're in Montana. All right, what are you doing in Montana?
Camping.
You're kind of camping, and what are you doing in the morning after you cook breakfast?
Just relaxing, sitting there by the fire.
All right. So you're Montana camping, sitting by fire, and we're gonna do a free form. You want to try a free form on this one, Fonzo?
Yeah, let's do a free form.
All right, free form, and we're gonna do like this little landscape type, and I click create. And it's gonna be like, oh, all right, I see what you're thinking.
So it takes a little while to generate it, but it just goes around and fucking searches for banks or where the hell.
So then
it puts it all together.
It's going through images and all this stuff.
I don't know what the fuck it's doing, but it's taking those ideas and it's looking shit up, and it's gonna compile a picture in a little bit for us. So I'll go back to it. I'm gonna go back to it right now, but let me talk about AI a little bit more. So this is a program that I'm going to use tonight to edit this episode. So I'm going to, after we're done recording, I'm going to drop this whole thing, and it's supposed to do everything that I do as soon as we're done. So basically, Alfonso, all I'm looking for is dead spaces, places where we fuck up, places where we're like, oh, I said, and you said Ngannou instead of Ngannou, or you said pizza instead of pizza, or whatever. And we did do-overs. We did retakes.
Say mountain instead of mountain.
Exactly.
Button instead of button.
You said Yosemite instead of Yosemite. Right? I use this software to create transcripts for a cartoon that I'm working on, and it's trash. I spent the same amount of time that I would have if I would have just done it by hand, almost, basically. So for that, it sucks. For editing the podcast, we'll see. So the file that I upload, whatever it gives me, I'm gonna upload it. So hey, I paid for I have a paid plan, so it's not the free shit. So if it does what it says it's supposed to do, we'll see.
Okay.
And if it doesn't, we got a couple friends who are lawyers. Just saying that, wise cut.
Oh, good segue, dog.
Just saying.
You're fucking so good, dude. Let me see here. Let me check on our picture. Let me see what's going on. It's still generating.
I was gonna say that's not Montana camping.
Where did it go?
right there. Hey, can we take a bit?
Oh yeah,
There it
check
is.
that out.
Okay.
That's Montana camping by a campfire. I don't know what's going on with this guy's face. It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Well,
Faces are really
it's
stretched out, but it's cool.
well, it's trying to draw a face. That's the thing.
So we got to give it faces, probably. So there we go. I'm gonna download this and send it to you, cuz. It's your Montana
Wow.
camping trip.
Okay. All right. So that's how this AI thing works. It takes a couple things and then it just. That's how the video game does it.
Apparently so. Yeah. So I guess there's a bunch of like artists that are doing stuff like this, and what they do is, like I said, they take pictures of real people's art. So it's kind of, in a way, it's doing two things that people are pissed off. One, it's taking someone's
Copyright
job away, right?
infringement.
And two, it's copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's taking everyone's idea and using them to create something new. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I can see how they don't want that, you know, but like,
So it's basically like a fucking high-tech Dr. Dre. That's all it is.
you're getting warmer, dog. You're getting warmer, but
Dang.
like for us, you know what I mean? As content creators, as people that have limited budgets, don't have access to a lot of stuff, this is a great way to create awesome shit. Possibly, maybe. I'm excited about what it can do. But hopefully it doesn't take people's jobs away. Hopefully and as humans, we're way smarter than this. We adapt to this. You know what I mean? Like we see this new wave come in. There's going to be people that are making money off of AI somehow, some way. So we'll figure it out as we go. And
Oh, you know what I just thought? I
What?
just thought? You should create your own website, right? That's like an AI website like that. And then just people type
I'm
some
listening.
right. You go onto the website pretending you're the AI and then
Build
just
those
start
apps.
putting shit together real quick and then spit it back out, fool. What if that's what's happening behind this website? Just some fucking dude.
Fiverr,
Hey,
and he's like, hey,
some
pay me
d-
20
yeah.
bucks. And you're like, hey, my
This fool
podcast
just
is about-
this fool just took what you said, went out on Google Images, typed it in, and then just shot back an image to you. That's all that happened right now.
just copied and pasted hella fast.
Yeah, that's all he did. Dude, he went to clip art. He went to clip art on work. That's what he did.
Hey,
Yeah.
check this out though. There is at the moment a guy that is about to be represented by an AI lawyer in traffic court.
Mm-mm.
This is wrong. What do you
Why
think?
is it
No,
wrong?
I think because I would never be represented by a
Why?
lawyer that can't wear a suit that's too big for him.
Oh,
That didn't look like his bigger
he ain't
brother.
wearing Stacey Adams. He better not be showing
Yeah,
up in my face,
exactly.
dog.
Exactly.
Dude.
Fuck that. Fuck that lawyer.
Oh, yeah, no, I'd like to see, you know what? If you're going to do it, go big or go home. Put that shit on a death trial thing. Put your life in the hands of that AI attorney and see how you, and I'll believe it. I'll go with that. Fuck that.
Tell us about this, Frank. What's going on with this dude?
No, I really don't know much of the details, but it's just a robot. So he just knows the law to the T. So he's just gonna follow it to the T.
Wait. Like, so is it like a for real robot? Like a robot? Or is it like some dude is just gonna fucking put up like a fucking Chromebook on a stand and then that's gonna be his lawyer?
It could be. It could be a program. Who knows? We don't, like I said, I don't know the details. It just says robot lawyer. It's AI, right? But think about it. This robot knows the law. He doesn't know gray area. All he knows is you broke the law or you didn't break the law. Now think about how many times people have gotten bullshit,
Away with
shit ass tickets. No, I'm talking about like how many times have people gone pulled over for a ticket that wasn't even real, right? This AI doesn't know. This AI is gonna be like, hey, you're driving a fucking 1998 Kia Soul. There's no way it went to 105 on the I-5. That's physically impossible. There's no way the laws of physics allow that. You're a fucking liar. Like or flip that. The guy that's being represented by the AI is like, yeah, no, I wasn't drunk. I was just fucking driving. Like, no, fool, you fucking like, blah, blah, you know what I mean? Whatever. Like, you can't lie to a robot because all it knows is black or white.
I think that motherfucker's gonna be a snitch. Just saying.
The robot or the
I think
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah, the robot.
oh for sure.
I think
He's recording everything. He knows.
yeah, but you know what? I think in regards to being in law and whatever, I think it could be a blessing and a curse because at the same time there's situations where you do take emotion into it. You do take mental abilities or other outside circumstances that only a human can really process that emotion. That computer's not gonna be able to do it. It's gonna go black and white. And it's going to go black and white off the information that's input into that. So let's say like, Frank's the thing earlier, the guy's driving 109 miles an hour, whatever. That was only inputted by the information on the ticket. This car going 109 miles an hour, whatever, that he's going to take that in. But once you take into account the situation or whatever was current, family members dying, whatever it was. Let's say here, I'll give you an example. When I was in junior high, I got a summons for a warrant for my for not appearing in court because when I was driving, I wasn't wearing a seatbelt and I didn't have my license on me. I was freaking I think I was 14 at the time, something like that, and I had to go into court. If I just go based off of the information, the computer is only going to go based off what's in writing. Not the fact that, hey, I had to actually write my name multiple times and prove that wasn't even me. So how is the AI attorney going to be able to distinguish?
Likely story, man. Seriously, you're gonna play the Shaggy defense on this motherfucker? That wasn't me. Seriously,
oh
man. I thought you were better than that, Ant. I thought.
So I think that this is a blessing and a curse, with it because. Look at what was that movie? A Time to Kill with Samuel L. Jackson, and he smoked those dudes that caught his daughter, raped her, killed her, or beat her and everything, left her on the side of the road. That and then he goes and kills these guys. He goes to goes on trial. If you're just going based off of law and what's typed in the facts, there's emotion that you have to take into account on that. On that situation, like in the movie. I don't know if you guys saw it, but how is the AI going to be able to distinguish, emotion? So I don't know. I don't
know, man. I haven't seen the movie. I have to go.
You haven't seen the movie?
I'll watch it.
You got it. It's an old movie, but yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah, A Time to Kill with Samuel L. Jackson. All right. It's a great movie. Yeah.
I'll check it out.
I think
all I'm saying is I don't think I would ever trust an AI though.
Yeah, me neither.
I think that it's good that it's just starting out with just traffic tickets.
Right, yeah.
If it's a speeding ticket, hey, were you speeding or were you not? That's it, right? Someone's lying. If you're fighting it in court, someone's not telling the truth. Either you were speeding or you weren't.
You haven't learned anything from Dave Chappelle. You plead the fifth, homie.
Well, this is to a lot of different problems. Speaking of in-office rivalries,
I'm going with my boy Huaco 100% of the time, all the time.
Versus traffic AI robot. They're hot. They're both at the same firm. They both work for the same boss. Traffic AI is like, Waco, you're so generous with your online browser history. You're fucked up, dog. Traffic AI knows that Waco's bathroom routines coincide with uploads to browsers. Traffic AI is always going to the bathroom to interrupt Waco in his bathroom breaks.
Yeah, that fool has the faith of a snitch, man.
I told you, Waco, just get a VPN, dog. Everyone knows your password. Buffalo Bills 92. Come on, dog, change it. It's been that since 92. It's like 30 years ago. Bills might not even win a Super Bowl if they keep playing like they did today. Anyways, I got my boy Waco. Fuck traffic AI. I want the people.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I agree, Frank.
Updates, Bonzo. You ready for some updates?
All right, let's go.
So last week we talked about the Dana White incident. Cousin Ant, you weren't here. So let's update Cousin Ant and people that may not have heard what happened. Dana White got into a crazy altercation with his wife on New Year's Eve. Dana White's wife slapped him. Dana White slapped her back once, twice, 3 times. Super bad. Let's go on.
Was it multiple times?
Yeah, I saw a longer version of the video. He hit her several times. Seen her
okay.
several times. And so this is one of my favorite podcasters, Luke Thomas. And this was his take on the whole thing because the UFC just had their first event of 2023 tonight, right?
Yesterday.
Or last night.
Yeah.
And they had their first press conference. So this got brought up, and Dana White made a statement. And this is Luke Thomas's reaction to this statement.
I thought Dana came out and said, hey, everyone defending me, like, oh, she hit me first, people. Like, don't defend me. I'm not defending it. You shouldn't defend it. It's wrong no matter what. First of all, I thought that was great. Glad he spoke to the media. There's a few things I'm pretty happy about with what Dana did here. Didn't like much else, though. Like this, like saying to the point of your question, if you punish me, how does it hurt me? I'm rich. I can go do anything. It would hurt the UFC. It would hurt my employees. That is such a bullshit manipulative argument. Dude, it's $1 billion company. It can't run effectively unless one particular person is there to make sure. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. You don't get to scale to $1 billion in annual revenue. It can't actually be that you have scaled the business that far and that only one person can keep it afloat. Pick one. It's either one or the other. The UFC could very much run without him. The UFC could very much run without any individual one person taken out, no matter what. Don't get me wrong. Hunter Campbell is valuable. He's replaceable. Bruce Buffer's replaceable. Sean Shelby's replaceable. Dana White. And by the way, they will eventually be replaced any fucking way. They're not immortal. It definitely used to be true years and years ago, post Ultimate Fighter, when he was really banging the drum and trying to get all these deals done. I mean, it damaged his long-term health to grow the brand. I can believe that. But now he has created this massive operation, and it's just completely disingenuous to say they would be hurt by my absence. Maybe a little bit in the short run. That's it. Everyone at every level of every major organization is replaceable. Guess what? Jeff Bezos is replaceable at Amazon. Elon Musk has obviously done a lot for Tesla. He is not essential to be there.
So that's Luke Thomas's take, man. What do you guys think? Like, he's basically gone unpunished. Does he need to be punished? And if he does need to be punished, what should be done? What do you guys think?
I agree with what he's saying. But at the same time, how many situations have you guys been in your life, or anybody, any of our listeners have been in their life, where out of nowhere, because you're not being prepared, you're asked a question and you just respond. You respond naturally, whatever, and you realize, and there's a misconnect or a disconnect from whoever's listening to you to what you're trying to say. This might even happen in your lives at home with wives or girlfriends or whatever, boyfriends, whatever you have, where you're saying something and they're like, I feel that that's what you meant by this, but you're like, no, that's not what I meant by this. What if he's saying, like, I was only saying in the short term? So at the same time, I don't really put a lot into what's being said without really knowing the person. I don't know that relationship right now. I'm not condoning what he did and everything. I'm not condoning what she did. I don't think you guys should be hitting each other to begin with. But should he be penalized and everything? I don't, where does the workplace and personal life, where does that, end? That had nothing to do with you. Yeah, he represents the UFC and everything. Okay. Yeah, I get it. You have that mark on you. I don't really know if, he should be penalized in the UFC because of what's going on in his home. We don't know what goes on in his home. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I don't know. What do you think, Alfonso?
Look, I think you have a responsibility. You know what I mean? Like your fighters do. You know what I mean? Your fighters, if they do anything that disparages UFC, they're penalized. Same thing happens with other sports leagues.
Like who? Who's been? Look at John. Didn't John Jones beat the shit out of his girlfriend a few times?
And he lost a lot. But he lost sponsorship. He lost a lot of the shit that he had before. A lot of the deals that he had before. You know what I mean? Like it. Did he go? Did he get? Yeah. Did he get the punishment he deserved? I don't think he did. But there was some form of punishment. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
So, and the same thing is for other professionals, other entertainment professionals. If you disparage your company, there's some sort of punishment. So why should it not be true for the head of the organization? Is what I'm saying. I don't know what that punishment should be, but what he's saying is bullshit. Like, you know, like, hey, you know, I admitted it, you know, I'm owning it, like that's punishment enough. Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
I
about
don't know
all
if it
that.
is. I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, but at the same time, I just think his statement was pretty lame in that regard. You know, no, it's not going to hurt the fighters. It's not going to hurt the company.
Yeah,
And
that. I think
that seems like a cop out.
Yeah, I think what he said like hit it on point. I think it may be like effective just in that. Oh shit, we don't have that person to fill in this position today, but okay, call in what's his name? We'll fucking step up or whatever.
Luke Thomas hit the nail on the head. There was a time when Dana White was busting his ass, like when me and Eddie met Dana White after the weigh-ins of UFC, like I don't know what it was, like 56 or something shit like that. And he was talking about, hey, I'm working on getting Vanderlei Silva over here. I'm going to try to sign Fedor. That's when he was doing shit. Now, he's not doing any of that. Now, he's probably just putting his name on stuff. You know, he's got nothing to do with the business. If he were to go away, the business would keep going the same way it's going. He doesn't have anything to do with the matchmaking. He doesn't have anything to do with paying the fighters. He doesn't have anything to do with grooming them or finding them. Finding new talent, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. What he should have done was keep his fucking mouth shut and just disappear for a while. But he can't because he thinks he's bigger than the UFC. And he said it himself. There's no coming back from hitting a woman. When fighters in the past have done this, he lets them go. So by him saying like, hey, what should happen to me if you hurt me? You're hurting everybody else. No, man, that's crap, dude. If this were to happen in any situation, if I, as a teacher, were to hit my wife and I get and by the way, if Dana White were to do this in the United States, would he not have got arrested?
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure he would have went
to
jail.
If she would have pressed the charges, if she pressed charges, yeah.
Right? If she would have, yeah. So he for sure could have got charges pressed on him. If I would have been Dana and my wife would have been Dana White's wife, and I hit my wife after she hits me and she presses charges, I'm going to jail. And guess what? My job is going to find out. My boss is going to get a call and be like, hey, Frank's fucking in jail. And he's going to be like, what? Frank, that's part of the code of conduct. Sorry, bro. We got to let you go. You're out. That's what normal people go through. I know this is not a normal job, but there should be something done. I'm not part of council culture because that's bullshit. But at the same time, there's never a time where you should put your hands on a woman.
But is this really cancel culture though? I wouldn't even like throw that in. I don't even believe this cancel. This is right or wrong. I think you're hitting it on the head. Like your point you made. I agree 100%. That is you're very right.
Yeah, you don't hit your lady.
Yeah.
And if that's how she is, you need to get out of that relationship, Dana, because that's a toxic ass relationship and nothing good is gonna come out of that. As a friend, as someone who cares for you, bro, I'm telling you that if she can push you or say or do things to get you to that point, you got to walk away because you're too good of a person. As a fan, we need you. You've done a lot for the sport. You've done a lot for UFC. I would hate for this to happen to any one of my friends, anyone I know, you know? So get the fuck out. And stay out of the limelight. As far as punishment goes, that's not up to me, but there definitely needs to be something done. Other than that, I'm done talking about it. Fonzo,
I agree.
Anything else you want to say?
I think his punishment should be anger management, and not like anger management. We go talk to a psychologist, but anger management, the movie with Adam Sandler, because that shit is fucking terrible.
Oh man!
All right. One last update. Last week we talked about Phil Baroni, because I don't know if you know this, Phil Baroni, ex-UFC fighter. Recently,
no, I just read this week when you sent me the notes. I was like, "What the fuck? What happened?"
Killed his
rolling.
He murdered his girlfriend, and he's looking at 50 to 75 years in prison. And word is that he is not on the good list as far as people who are looking to make friends with him in prison, if that makes sense.
Oh,
he's not having a good time.
Okay, so
I wouldn't imagine so.
He's not going to be in the gym.
They're going after him. They're going after him. They're whooping his ass, I'm sure.
Damn.
Hey, well, that's
Why-
a little interesting. Just because I was watching this thing on a little while ago. Actually, after you and I talked about this story, Frank. And did you know this dude had ties to the Italian mob in New York?
No. How's it go?
He was let me see if I can find the article that I was reading. But yeah, he was an enforcer for the mob apparently. I'm thinking the Gambino crime family.
Wow, that's big.
No.
Time.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like is he not with them anymore that he can't buy protection? You know what I mean? Like if he's having that hard of a time?
Unless that was why he maybe left the organization to go to UFC, and that's why he doesn't have the protection because he left the organization.
That is
Damn.
that is so crazy. Wow. Well, we all really know who did it though. This motherfucker right here.
That Duende motherfucker. All right. Who is this dude?
Because when you go to Guadalajara, look for these guys. They sell them.
Okay.
They're called duendes.
Uh-huh.
They're like little toys. Like they're creepy as hell, dude. But they're supposed to be good luck.
They're supposed to be good luck?
Yeah. Or they could be. Or they could also curse your life. So you might want to tread lightly. You might want maybe you don't get one. Maybe you don't get one.
I'll just take my chances.
Yeah. So
they're like a Mexican version of gnomes, but just way cooler.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on them. I pass on gnomes and I'll pass on these guys.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode. Gentlemen, anything you want to say to the listeners out there?
Hey, I hope you guys liked the episode. I had a lot of good times fucking talking about this and talking shit. So out there, let us know if there's any topics. Yeah, let us know if there's any topics.
But it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks guys for having me out, man. I really appreciate being on the show. I know I didn't have a topic for this week, but we didn't have time for this episode. But maybe next time.
It's all good next time. Fonzo, any closing remarks, my man?
If you guys want to hear anything specific, let us know. We'll try to research it and put it on the show next time.
I'm gonna start sending in stuff for Alfonso to research.
All right, do it.
No, that's not cool. Unless it's doing on a water slide.
Do it. See what happens.
All right, got a couple.
Hey, listeners out there, I encourage you guys to check out some of those AI websites. Put in that information Frank just said, and then send all those dick pics to Ant. He'll enjoy it.
All right, everybody. Have a fantastic week. Keep rolling and trading, and we hope to hear from you soon. Peace.
This is the motivation.